Hey everybody, my name is Forrest with Rocky Mountain School of Photography, and today Lightroom got a new update, or Lightroom Classic, should I say. Lightroom Classic 9.0 launched today. It's November 2019, and I want to take a look at what's new, what the new features are, what new things you have to play with. So step number one is going to be to update your version of Lightroom. If you're on a Mac, you'll go to the top right-hand corner where your little Creative Cloud Manager is running. Windows folks, yours will be down in the lower right-hand corner. You're going to open that Creative Cloud Manager and you're going to download your update for Lightroom Classic. Once that's downloaded, you'll launch Lightroom. There's no need to update your catalog or anything like that. It's not a full version release where you have to do any sort of catalog upgrading. You'll be able to just launch right into Lightroom with your existing catalog, and you'll be greeted with a little splash screen walking you through what's new in the program, which is kind of nice. So what I want to do is take each of these things step by step and talk about them in turn. Thing number one is a Panorama Fill for edges. And Photoshop's had this for quite a while, but basically this is a way to, when you build a panorama in Lightroom, use the content-aware fill technique that was originally put out in Photoshop to fill in missing edges. I've got a folder here of a panorama, and if I open that up and select these images, right-click and go to Photo Merge, Panorama. By the way, I have a video on panoramas. I'll link it down in the description if you're looking for more of the overview of this whole tool. Today I'm just talking about the new stuff. We now have a checkbox in here, as well as boundary warp. We also have a Fill Edges button. And what Fill Edges button is going to do, you can see right quick there, if I uncheck it and recheck it, it's going to make up information. It's going to use the content-aware processing engine from Photoshop to essentially make up what's there. Now, is it going to do a perfect job? You can see up here at this mountain, it made some info up here. It doesn't look amazing, but hey, it finished out this tree for me. It finished out this mountain. It does a pretty dang good job. And luckily, most panoramas on the edges where you miss is going to be simple information like sky or grass or things like that. So I think this is a pretty cool tool that's going to get a lot of use. Real easy way to fill things in. Obviously, the better you do in camera, the less need there's going to be for this tool, but a lot of people, myself included, like to hand hold their panoramas, in which case this is awesome. Second thing that I have been waiting for so long, Capture One has had it for a while and Lightroom finally put it into the program, and that is batch exporting. So a lot of times you'll be shooting images for a client and you'll need to export those images multiple ways for the client. As an example, the client might want to print some of the images. They also might want to post some of the images to the web. And instead of leaving that conversion up to the client, it's much easier and more effective and trustworthy, should I say, for us to do it ourselves. Very simple process. When you're exporting, any exporting presets that you've previously built, you can see I have one for print and for the web over here. You just put a checkbox in each of the presets that you want to use, and when you hit export, you'll be left with multiple folders or multiple locations, whatever you have set in the export location for each preset, with the images sized properly for that purpose. Now, you won't have a for print and for the web preset because those are presets that I've set up. But if you guys are looking to learn more about exporting, I have like a 30-minute video and a PDF guide on exporting out of Lightroom. And again, I've linked that down in the description. Today, I'm just trying to show you guys the new stuff, and this is super cool. You can check as many of those boxes as you want, and Lightroom will run the export multiple times without you having to do anything. Super sweet. All right, thing number three is the ability to clear history. Now, this is one of those things that I kind of saw it as a feature and I was like, what? People want that? It's not something that I was really hugely after. But if you are editing a photo and you're in the develop module, you now have the ability to go to the history, right-click on a history state, and say clear history above this step. And what it'll do is it'll wipe out the history above that step, which is anything newer than that current state that you're clicked on. Again, I don't really see the usefulness for my workflow personally, but again, I guess it's nice to have it. Cool. Number four is the ability to export develop presets, which is a little bit convoluted in my mind. It took me a second to process what that meant. But basically, if you have a develop preset that you've created, say something that makes a vignette or something that applies a teal and orange effect to your images or something like that, you can now, here I have a preset called test over here on the left. I can right click on test and I can go to export. And what it will do is it will say, where do you want to export this to? And I could say my desktop. I can give it a name, and it makes it a very easy little file that you can then export, give to someone else. You can get them out of there. Now, there were ways to do this. You could get your presets out of Lightroom previously, but you had to go like deep into the computer's file structure to find it, and now it's much easier to just export it right out, get it on the desktop, and you're good to go. So pretty cool. A nice thing for people who use presets a lot to be able to share them between multiple computers if they're not wanting to store them with their catalog. All right, lastly, other than some bug fixes, is the ability to sort our collections by color. So whether you knew it or not, a few updates ago, Lightroom gave us the ability to apply color labels to our collections. So if we're in the library module, we've got our collections panel here, we can very easily right-click on a collection or a collection set, and we can apply color labels to that specific collection. I can give this purple for an example. Well, now we can go to this filter collections, and if you click the little magnifying glass right here, we can go to color labels and filter to purple, and it will only show us the purple collections. Now, I can see this as being super useful if you have like hundreds of collections, and maybe you want a quick way to have your top level collections be green or your bottom level collections be yellow, or maybe yellow means like your portfolio images or a certain genre. Again, anything with organization, if you guys have delved into Lightroom's organization structure, there's so much to it. And the cool thing is Adobe has provided all of these different ways for really organization to work in the way that your brain works, which is super crucial. And I like this. It's a nice little thing that I think we can add in, and some people will find it super useful in their workflow. One thing to remember though is that you always go back to color labels and go to any, so that you're not hiding some collections from yourself forevermore. All right, so obviously there were more bug fixes, but those are the main feature updates. Hopefully you guys found this useful. If you liked this video, hit that thumbs up button. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. If you guys have a question about any of this stuff, leave it in the comment section down below. And lastly, hit subscribe, because we put out great videos on Lightroom, photography, reviews of products, Photoshop, all kinds of stuff every single week. So definitely hit that subscribe button if you're into this content. And lastly, special thanks to Canon. They provided the video camera and the equipment that we are using for these videos. Thanks guys, I appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Woo!